Well, for family cases, the immigration process could take at least 2 years based on beginning to end. This includes the time when the petition is filed with the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services up until the time the beneficiary receives their immigrant visa at a U.S. embassy or consulate. Well, our fees are reasonable based on the proportion of work. For more information, for more information on both our fees and the government fees that are charged per case, we invite you to contact us directly at info@enterlinepartners.com. Well, for family cases, there are a number of documents, including proof from the petitioner and the beneficiary. Let's say from the petitioner, we need proof of their citizenship or lawful permanent residency, such as a passport or a copy of their green card. We also need, if they're applying, for example, based on marriage, we need copies of the marriage certificate, as well as copies of any prior marriage dissolution, such as a divorce, death, or annulment. We also like to get the birth certificates of the beneficiary, meaning the person who's going for the visa. In addition, we also like to include relationship evidence of the parties, such as marriage photos, relationship photos, and of course, if there's kids involved, we need the documentation of the children as well. Well, we can't offer any guarantees for a case outcome. The only guarantee we can give you is work as hard and ethically as possible to get the best possible result for you. Because of our vast history and experience in this field, we've experienced cases that are quite similar to one another. But of course, every case is different because we're dealing with individuals with individual needs and requirements. In order to make the process go faster, we have to assess your case. There could be ways to expedite it, but those are on a case-by-case basis, and we need to know more about your situation before we can advise you whether or not your case can go faster or does it go the normal route. If you get refused or denied, it depends on what the refusal was based on. For example, as attorneys, we're held to a higher standard. So the refusal was based on our malfeasance or negligence. We can discuss possibly refunds or something that we did that was wrong. If, however, the refusal was based on something that you didn't disclose to us, then that's something that we can't help you on because we should have been told up front the whole situation, the whole story when we asked you in the very beginning. We need you to tell the whole story and don't withhold any facts, no matter how minor that you think these facts are. In terms of concerns of the second Trump administration, I would recommend people talk to a lawyer directly and stop watching the news. You can get so much, especially now the way the news runs through social media, we get news at the speed of light. I would recommend that if you see something that you find concerning, talk to us first, and we can advise you whether or not that is actual news or that's misrepresentation, and it does not apply to your case. Many times we see something on the news and we instantly think it applies to our case. Talk to us first, and we will confirm whether or not that applies to your case or that is an isolated incident that you should not be concerned about. Yes, we do. Many of our cases are payment plans, which we would ask for initial payment to begin, and then we have another fee that comes upon a certain event occurring.
EB-5 processing from the very start to the very end can take 3 or 4 years in total. However, the time it takes to initially obtain permanent residence usually can be between 18 to 24 months. The minimum investment for an EB-5 visa, there are 2 levels. One is the standard investment amount of $1,050,000 US. But if you can qualify because your investment is a certain targeted employment area, then the investment amount is lowered to $800,000 US. To qualify for EB-5, the type of business you invest into is really quite broad. Any type of ongoing business or a new business or ongoing business can qualify. That includes franchises. If you want to invest into a franchise, that will qualify you. Industries that are best or most popular for EB-5 tend to be real estate-based projects. That's because many investors feel like a real estate-based investment gives them some more security if, for example, the project or the development may fail, as compared to service-related investments or manufacturing-related investments. I mean, any investment can qualify you. There's just a sense among most investors that real estate may be safer because of an asset. Some people may ask in EB-5 if there's a way to speed up the process or fast track the process. There's very little that can be done to do that. Although one type of investment, an investment made into an area called a rural area, those petitions receive priority processing, and we can see faster processing by Immigration Service. So thereby you can move through the process quicker. The most common reason that EB-5 investors are refused is because they failed to properly prove that the source of their capital they used for the investment was obtained lawfully. It's really strongly advised that if you're pursuing the EB-5 visa, that you hire an experienced immigration lawyer that has the experience in EB-5. It's really a very complex process. And I think very rarely someone could move through the process themselves. In addition to the EB-5 visa category, I also help with other visa categories, and those would be obtaining permanent residence and green cards. And then many of my clients, we will help them all the way to obtaining citizenship. In the EB-5 industry, there are many companies that operate, especially in Asia, that are immigration agents or immigration consultants. And these are persons that understand the process, and they are maybe helping an investor to work with, identify source of funds, and also find projects into which they can invest. But the challenge, and to be cautious with those, is that they're really not professionals. They don't have the proper training to give legal advice or even investment advice. So it's very important that you're able to talk to your immigration lawyer about the EB-5 process. What makes a really strong EB-5 case? Well, it really comes down to, again, the source and the path of the funds that you're using for your investment, and being able to prove to the Immigration Service that you obtained it lawfully.
For more information on what we do, you can contact us through email at info@enterlinepartners.com and speak with one of us today.
Or tomorrow. Or the next day.
Or the next day.